Hello, hello, hello. Come on in. Let's talk about mailbox money. Let's talk mailbox money because I don't think enough of you understand that content is just not enough. If it were just as easy as creating content, more people would be doing it, right? So it's not just about creating content. You have to do more than create even good content, let alone just content, period, at all. You have to do more than just create content, okay? And, there are various types of content. Everybody always thinks of social media when they think of content. Well, there's more to content than social media. There's blogging, right? There's also email. Events are also content. Hey, girl, hey. So just posting on social media is not enough, okay? I know there are people out there who are telling you you need more content. If you aren't making sales yet, you need more content, right? Okay. So if you're new here, we're actually referring to digital marketing, or even not just digital marketing, because digital marketing is actually a skill set, right? So, digital marketing can be applied to a wide array of industries, including direct sales, including e-commerce, including drop shipping, your own products, selling other people's products, affiliate marketing. Digital marketing can be applied to all of those things, okay? And so when it comes to digital marketing of, say, digital products, you may hear people saying, and even selling your own products through like Shopify or e-commerce, hey, happy Saturday. You may hear people say things like, you're not putting out enough content. And most people are not putting out enough content. But even if you are putting out enough content, it's not often always enough, okay? And the reason that is you've probably heard me say this many times before, is that you have a less than 2% chance of somebody visiting your website for the first time and actually becoming a customer. People are looking at so many more data points than they have ever looked at before in terms of, when it comes time to make a buying decision, okay? So you need to put out a lot of content, but you also need to be building relationships, right? And you hope that your content is going to pull people in. You hope that your content is going, well, actually, you should be doing more than hope. You should actually be strategically creating content that is going to attract people. You should strategically be creating content that is then going to connect with and begin to build relationship with those people that you are building relationship with. And the one thing that I don't see a lot of people talking about, we're going to talk about today. So if you want to know what that one thing is, drop a 1 in the comments, because there's not enough talk about this at all levels, be it beginner, be it intermediate, and be it, advanced. There's just not enough talk about this one thing. So let me know in the comments with a 1 if you want to know what that one thing is that will help you to convert more, okay? Because content is not enough. And that's coming from people like Neil Patel, if you know who Neil is. Neil is an OG marketer. He owns SEMrush. He owns different technologies and that, and he's well known and respected in the digital marketing space, which covers a lot of things. Okay, if you haven't, go back to my YouTube and watch that video where I break down digital marketing, right? Because digital marketing is not a skill. It is not a product. Digital marketing is not an offer. Digital marketing is not even a business model. It is a skill set. Okay? So if you really want to know that breakdown of digital marketing and how all these things come together and overlap, how they intersect, you can go back and find that video on my YouTube. I can't even tell you what it's called because I am dizzy from all the content I've been creating over the last 2 months. Okay, so we've got 111 on what that one thing is. Okay, so here is the thing. I've already told you, when someone is new to you online, even if they are problem aware, they are not going to buy the very first time they visit your website. And that is because of know, like, and trust. Okay? So the question then becomes two things. How do you build that know, like, and trust with a stranger? And how do you do it in a way that keeps them coming back? Okay? Because the internet, imagine the internet and social media as this big, like, 12-lane highway. We've all seen video, like, I think in China and other places, of like these 12-lane, 18-lane highways, right? And people are on them and everybody's getting off at different points, right? There's so much content out there, even the best content, and you don't control the algorithms. How do you get people back in front of your content, even if they follow you? A lot of times it's like, if they follow you, they have a greater chance of even seeing your content again. If you want to see somebody's content again, often the best thing to do is to interact with the content and not actually follow them. Am I right? Or am I right? Let me know in the comments. Has that ever happened to you, where you might not have followed or subscribed to someone, but you keep seeing their content because you've engaged with it? Right. Okay. So how do you get someone to come back to your content? Okay. You have to understand the various phases of the buyer's journey and create content for each of those phases. Okay. So we often find we are chasing engagement, and because we are chasing engagement, we end up down this narrow road where we're only creating content to either one ideal client, which I do actually recommend, or what I will say even more specifically than that, to one stage of the buyer's journey. Okay. And the algorithm actually favors the content. You're going to get the most engagement on content that is entertaining, for example. And entertaining content would fall into the attraction phase of the buyer's journey, constantly getting new people in front of your content. Okay, which is great. But if you can't convert them to ascend them to the next step in the buyer's journey, that's why you're getting exhausted and you feel like you're spinning your wheels over and over again. Okay? Anybody feel exhausted? Anybody feel like a gerbil on a wheel? A hamster on a wheel? Spinning and spinning and spinning, creating content and not getting any conversions? Yes. Okay? That is because you are creating the content that feeds the algorithm, which you need to do some of that, but you can't just do that. If you just do that and that only, you're not going to meet your business objectives. You're not going to meet your goals. And even in creating content to attract, I tend to stay away from purely entertaining content because it serves no real purpose other than to get a bunch of people and say that you hit vanity metrics like views or likes, right? You're better off to create content that is going to be savable, content that's going to be craveable, that they want to keep coming back for, right? So here's what you need to do. You need to create content that is going to attract, and that's where you take the trending stuff and you make it fit your ideal client and what you do and make them feel seen, heard, and acknowledged. Okay? And then you also want to create content that is solution focused. Okay? And if you want to know what solution focused content sounds like, looks like, and is, let me know in the comments with a 2. Okay? Because I guarantee you, most of you are not necessarily doing this. I see a lot of content. I see a lot of content that is, good. Actually, y'all actually do put out a lot of good content, right? And sometimes people go in waves. All they put out is content to convert, and they don't get any conversions. And then they swing the other way, and they only put out content to attract. And you have to have both, okay? So if you do 3 to 5 posts in a day, you want no more than 2 of them to be to attract, and you want 1 of them to be solution or selling focused, okay? And then you also want to do a post that is going to be kind of polarizing, which is basically another form of attraction, but it's more warming people up, because when you are being more polarizing, you're moving them from just, hey, look at me, to now I'm taking a stand, and either you're going to like me, or you're going to decide to either like me or hate me at this point, okay? And you're going to decide to keep scrolling, or you're going to decide to stick around and see what else I got to say, okay? So those are really like the three main things. It can be a little more in depth than that, but I'm going to keep it that simple. And if you want to know what solutions and selling content looks and sounds like, I can give you some examples, but you got to let me know that you're looking for that information. Wet my whistle. Okay. If you want to make more money online, there are some key things that you have to do, and I just don't see a lot of people talking about it. Okay. They keep telling you content, but it's more specific than just content, right? And like I've already said, there are various types of content. Okay. Events are content, whether offline or online. Events are content. Events will close. Events will help people make decisions, okay? Just putting out content, dancing and singing, or even making really, wisecracks on the screen with text on the screen is not enough to help people make a buying decision, okay? So your selling content, your content that is going to convert, needs to be solutions focused, okay? So I have a multiple six-figure beauty business. I actually don't even actively promote it anymore. But if you go on Pinterest, you will find all types of content, okay? So right now it is summer. In summer, in my beauty business, I tend to create content. My solutions focused content focuses a lot on glowing skin. Okay. So your highlighters, your bronzers. Okay. I focus on those. Now, I'm a person that actually uses a highlighter and bronzer year round because I believe in another life. I was a disco ball. Okay. But in my marketing, there is seasonality to it. And I once did a training called Marketing 101, where I was teaching an annual content plan for beauty businesses. If you wanted to create a six-figure beauty business, basically it was my own content plan that over 2 years I developed day by day, week by week, month by month. And by the third year, I was just tweaking that content plan. I was updating content, right? And so summer, what are people looking for in summer for their makeup, right? What are they looking for their beauty, right? Some of us, depending on heredity, depending on season of life, we sweat a lot in summer. So we may either be wearing less makeup, or we want to preserve the makeup that we do wear and prevent it from running. So that's an example of solution-focused content that you can create. How I like, you're probably actually seeing this Urban Decay ad. If you have touched beauty at all, you are probably seeing the Urban Decay ad on TT, where they're talking about it has hyaluronic acid in there and showing how it protects, and it's called All Nighter and how long your makeup lasts, right? So a solutions focused piece of content around something similar like that. Years ago, I posted a video. I actually have pulled an all-nighter working on digital marketing, executing digital marketing, setting up different sales funnels and that. And it got to be like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I had done my makeup, I don't know at what time the day before, but I think I calculated it was like 23 hours. My makeup had lasted and looked perfect 23 hours later. I'd have to go find that video on YouTube. I know it's not publicly available anymore. I've hidden it because I no longer represent that brand. Right? But that's a solutions focus. Who is your ideal client? Who is it that you serve? and what problem and how does your product solve that problem, right? So it can start out with something like, do they call you Keisha Sweat, right? Are you a person that sweats just to sweat? There's nothing you can do about it, but you still want to leave the house with a full face beat? Check this out. Come here. Look at this. And then you show the time. Social proof. You show the time. This is the time. And then you show yourself at various times and show how your makeup looks. And then you can say, okay, it's been 17 hours. And my makeup still looks as good as it did when I put it on at whatever time you originally put it on. So that's an example of solutions-focused content, right? If you are selling a digital program to help people make money online, what problem is that actually solving, right? For a lot of us, it's about buying back your time, right? Who has time to go work a third or fourth job in some cases? I know somebody who was bragging about getting hired for their second or third full-time job. I can't even remember. But even at 2 full-time jobs, like, that leaves you like 8 hours a day if you're lucky. Like that, there is no way that's healthy. God did not intend for you to live like that. He just didn't, right? So, solutions-focused content is going to show how you can structure your work time and the results that you get and how much time you were able to buy back by not having to go work another job. Okay, so let's answer some questions and let's see if you guys are picking up what I'm throwing down in the comments. Okay, because got to keep this engaging because it's conversation, right? It's conversation. So let me know in the comments if you're picking up what I'm throwing down. Is what I'm saying, crystal clear? Is it making sense? What questions? Is there something else you'd like to see me go through and help you with a solutions-focused, a selling-focused content idea? Let me know in the comments. And I don't care what program you're selling. I that stuff does not matter. I'm just here to help people, okay? I have not introduced myself. My name is Tamira. I have over 30 years of sales, marketing, and leadership experience. I have 2 adult children, 2 grandchildren, one who you can probably hear snoring. She's over there laying down. Her mom is in Turks and Caicos. And so it's just the 2 of us this weekend. And she's really sad, y'all. She's really sad because her mom she's a pandemic baby. So her mom is gone. Her brother is gone. He's with his dad. And she loves me. It's not me at all. She's just used to being with them or her dad at all times. And her mom and dad are no longer together. So it's just a hard time for her. So if you know me, I'm kind of woo-woo. I listen to a lot of calming and relaxing music. My grandkids love that, actually. So I put on like an aquarium video, and next thing I knew, she fell asleep. So I was like, let me go live. Let me go live. Viral trending. Tell me what you mean, Tyra, by viral trending. Okay. So viral trending. Let me think of some examples I've done with viral trending. I can give you an example of what someone else did, but y'all got to promise to understand that this is not coming from my own political views or anyone else's, okay? This is just objectively, right? We have to learn to thank you. She'll be okay. She's okay. Like I told my daughter, it's separation anxiety. And at some point, she's got to get used to, she can't be around all of them at the same time. It's because it wouldn't be fair to make her brother come home. It wouldn't be fair to keep him from going to see his family. It's unfortunate that it all just happens to be at the same time. But I parent her in the way that, is not parent. I grandparent her following like a gentle parenting style. Because, I'm not her parent. She has parents. So, it's just I run through questions with her. Do you feel safe? Yes. Do you feel loved? Yes. Do you trust me? Yes. Then you're okay. It's okay to be sad and miss your mommy. And so, I FaceTimed her mom for her so she could see her mom, and she definitely felt a lot better. And we get outside, we do fresh air, we do fun things, and we just talk because she's a very intelligent little girl. So we have, conversations and just explain families love each other, but you don't get to be with each other all the time. And sometimes everybody needs a little space from each other. And that's okay. Let mommy go have her fun. Let Tristan have his fun. And we'll have our fun in 3 sleeps. Because I told her mom, I said, tell her how many sleeps before she'll get to see you again. And so she told her 3 sleeps. Okay. So picking the content. I actually have a guide. It is, let me go here. It is on, if you go to the link in my bio, and I will walk through a little bit of this, but first I want you to go to the link in my bio, click my face right up here, and go to the link in my bio. And if you scroll down, it's free. This is completely free. It is the Conversion Catalyst Checklist. Okay, so download that Conversion Catalyst Checklist. Wait, is that it? No, that's not it. Let me find it. I have one. So DM me and I will send it to you. I have my trend hacking guide. Trend hacking. Let me go to my drive. Okay. I'm going to pause this for 1 second, y'all. I got to do something. I will be right back. Where do I pause it? Don't go nowhere. Come right back. Give me just a second, okay? Okay, y'all. Sorry about that. I'm back. Okay. So I'm going to show you this, and you can get a copy of this for free. Just DM me. I can't remember the direct link to it. Otherwise, I would tell you. Okay. So this is the trend hacking guide. Okay. It is the blueprint to next gen social media marketing. So to answer your question on how to pick the viral data, the viral and trending stuff, that's actually just the cover photo. So let me find it. There it is. Okay, so I can flip it again. Okay, so here's the thing. You have to know where to find trending data, okay? And it's not just on TikTok. You can find trending data. Pinterest is one of my favorite places for finding trend hacking, for finding trends. Here you go, baby. You want the iPad? Here you go. Okay, so Pinterest is a great place, right? You can go to Google Trends, and I give you a full list of places where you can go to find trending info in this guide, okay? So I'm not going to go through the full guide because I want you to actually get the guide and download it, okay? So I'm not going to go through everything, but I will tell you some of the places where you can go to find trends. It's right here in the guide, okay? So there's actually one on here that's not on this list. So drop a 3 in the comments if you want to give me my most current number one place I go to find trending content, okay? Content that has, like, here on Facebook, let me see. This is my Facebook. I have a professional profile, and I'm going to show you a piece of content that I got from another platform and brought to Facebook and how well it did for me. Come on now, what's going on? I'm gonna keep scrolling. Okay, it's the same place where I got this image right here. I got this image from that same place. So drop a 3 in the comments if you want to know that source of really good trending content that will get you a lot of engagement and attraction on other platforms. This question, this engagement question, I also got from this same source that a lot of people don't realize that they can go to get content inspiration. This image also came from that. I've been going to the same well for a few weeks now, y'all. But Pinterest is definitely one of my places that I go to. Okay, so this image, I want to show you this engagement. Okay, like 34 interactions, but look at this. 129 comments and 4 shares. And keep in mind, Facebook doesn't tell you how many saves you got. And 23 minutes ago, okay? So I posted this on July 19th, and it is still getting comments. Okay? So I'm seeing 3. Okay? All right, I'm going to show you. You ready? Okay. Let me hide it for just a second while I type it in. Just to be silly with y'all. Okay? So that is where you go right there. Can you read that? Do you see that? Reddit. Reddit is a treasure trove of content, right? Now, if you're looking to make it into a TikTok, for example, you wouldn't necessarily post that image, but you could test it, right? You could test it and use it, right? So let me go back to that post for just 1 second so I can show you something. Probably got to scroll down. But I want to show you the questions that the things that people said, okay? And I'm in the Facebook monetization program too, by the way. So that post is helping me make money, okay? So the question is, what would you do with this space? I have a few ideas and wonder what you would do. So I'm specifically asking. I'm not engagement baiting. I'm just asking a question, right? And so let's go to oldest, right? And people are asking questions. And people are saying, I'd turn it into an area to film content. You're going to see a theme here with what people say. Epic podcast booth or cute library. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. The first thing I thought when I saw that room, and I don't even have a dog, but if I had a cute little lap dog, I would make it into a little doggy room with a doggy couch. You know, like a real room, but for a dog with a little TV on the screen and all of that, like you see people do on Pinterest, right? But look at what this tells me what my brand is, because look what people responded. I turn it into an area to film content, but also what is this supposed to be? I know, right? Because it looks small, and look at the little windows, right? Epic podcast booth or cute library. Meditation. People know that I meditate, right? Content room, office. These are things people are saying. My cousin, you see his answer. That's my baby. I'm the oldest grandchild. He's the youngest. That's my baby. He's not a baby though. He's like, if I'm 50, he's probably like 36, I think. Okay. Office, reading corner, confessions, and record myself. If this was my house, I'd use it as a meditation yoga room, art room, I would take down the walls, otherwise it's a closet. Content podcasting. So you see how I'm also able to now see how people view me, what people think of me, because not all of these people are actually content creators, but they know that I am. They know that I do business online, that I'm a digital marketer. So they're telling me what I should do, but that's not what I asked them. I asked them what would they do. But see the irony there? They're telling me what what they think I should do. So I found that very interesting, right? So there's 100 and some contents and comments and growing. So that is a great way to find viral content, is to go to Reddit. Okay, go to Reddit. Okay, other places, Google Alerts. You can set a Google alert. Even if you are not building a business online, if you work for a publicly traded company, I would suggest that you set up Google Alerts for your company. You might know what's going on in your company from those Google Alerts before they even announce it. Ask me how I know. You might go into work and they think they're about to announce something to you, and you may already know it from the Google alert, especially if it's something that is said in a quarterly call to stockholders, because they have to hold those. They hold those every quarter, right? So set up Google alerts I have them set up for Pinterest, for Instagram, for Facebook, so that I'm in the know and I can actually create content based on what I learn in those Google alerts. Okay. There are social listening tools like Mention and Brandwatch. I think Metricool is another one for real-time social monitoring. Google Trends for popularity insights on specific topics, your social media platforms, right? Like Twitter X actually has a trending. Like you can go to trending. Reddit, you go to reddit.com/popular. And you can actually even drill it down a little bit more from there. There are apps that will tell you what's trending on TikTok, trending sounds and that, right? Pay attention to your news feed. You'll know if you interact with something trending, because once you interact with it, and the more you interact with something with that sound or that vibe or whatever it is that's making it trend, you are going to see a lot more of it. And that's how you know that it is trending. For example, yesterday I saw one of my mentors talk about Ballerina Farm, and I've heard of them, but I didn't know that there was anything trending or like that going on with them. And next thing you know, I started seeing more and more people with their take on the Ballerina Farm article that was in, I think, the New York Times or the Times or something, and their take on that, right? So that's in my queue for me to get some content up about that in the next 24 hours. Okay. So just really being in tune to what, key people are both in your industry and in other industries are creating content about. You'll know that when certain people create a piece of content, it's because they spotted it as an early trend, and you start paying attention and figuring out how to make that trend fit what you do. Okay. Is this helpful? Please let me know in the comments if what I'm sharing so far is helpful. Okay. Let me know. That Ballerina Farm. And you begin to know, like, what are the things people are talking about? Like Nara Smith. Everybody loves to keep Nara's name in their mouth, right? And then there are those who never even mention her, but they follow the same formula that she does, but in a parody standpoint. Like when I was a kid, Michael Jackson, I'm of the age that, like, I was coming of age when the Thriller album was like everything, right? And then Weird Al Yankovic came out with Just Eat It, right? So there are people doing that to Nara Smith by being funny and they start off their video. They've cracked the code. What makes Nara's videos go viral is the way she starts them, right? My husband requested, and people will say that, right? And they'll use that really soft, beautiful voice like she uses, but they do it in a funny way, right? So you could even do something. You could do that. There's nothing saying that you couldn't be the Nara Smith of content creation. In fact, I dare someone on here to study Nara's videos and do what Nara does, but apply it to being a digital marketer. Okay, who's going to take me up on that challenge? Let me know in the comments, because it can and should be done. Now, coming to my content, like if you have not already, you need to hit that follow button, right? Because I come up with more ideas. I generate more ideas than I have resources to act on. So coming here is a great place because I don't gatekeep, and I actually hate that phrase, but I don't gatekeep, right? So who's going to take me up on that? Who's going to be the Nara Smith of digital products, of digital downloads, of digital marketing? Who's going to be the Nara Smith, right? And say that, oh, my husband requested that I create a guide on how to capture leads, capture and leverage digital trends. Who's going to be that person? And follow Nara's format, but it be clearly related to your ideal client and how you can help them. Okay? So industry newsletters. Okay? I subscribe to some paid newsletters that are out there that are very specific and targeted to digital marketing. This isn't just, hey, sign up for my newsletter stuff. This is really good, valuable content, right? Because I will tell you, if you're looking to capture leads, signing people up to a newsletter is not the way to go about it. You're better off to create something like the download you are looking at and have people give you their name and email, right? I want your name and email to be able to follow up with you, to be able to build that relationship that we were talking about at the beginning of this video. And so with that in mind, that's why, of course, I'm not going to go through the entire PDF with you. I got to leave something to make you, want to get it. I had to take a drink, y'all. Okay. Webinars and conferences. Remember, I told you events are content too. Right? Events are content too. Okay? So attend for the up to the minute trends. People are going back to, I saw an ad for a conference that's going to be held in Atlanta for women entrepreneurs, right? And they said there was something, they're not going to say everything that they're going to do online, that they're going to do some closed room stuff. Right? People are understanding that in some cases, some things do need to be gate kept. We cannot be giving away trade secrets and things of really high value to anyone and everyone. Right? That's where some of the appropriation, for example, comes from, right? So sometimes you got to be in the room. You actually have to, that the highest form of know, like, and trust, and what's going to get you there the fastest is face to face. The next best thing is video, right? So attending webinars and conferences that are specific to your industry and really getting to know people and taking that relationship to the next level. AI tools like Crayon and SparkToro for predictive forecasting. There's audience feedback. That's why I like these videos to be very interactive, right? To get that feedback, right? Team meetings, right? If you have a team, if there are other people if you are part of a community like DBA, for example, asking other people, right? Like if I find like I'm putting up content and it used to work and all of a sudden it's a little dry, there are a few people that I'm going to go to and say, hey, how's it going? Are you noticing anything? To see what they say. Now, I'm not going to go to the negative Nellies who automatically go to, oh my God, it's saturated, it's not working, I got to find something else to do. I don't want to hear from them. I want to talk to people who have enough wisdom to be able to discern what is really going on and in as much as they can and are willing to share what they're doing about it and kind of swap ideas. A lot of people don't realize that, but like I worked in travel, my first job out of college, in hotels. They might have different flags on them, but the people who work there, some of them even work together at different places. So they all have a network and they will share certain things with each other. They build relationship because hotels, actually, a lot of people don't know this. I don't know about now, but back in the day, pre-Airbnb, they would oversell. because they knew that a certain amount on average wouldn't show up. So they would overbook, they would oversell. And every now and then, everybody that booked would show up. So they would like to have a relationship with the hotel across the street or down the road that were of equal or better, so that they could send the people over there to the other hotel, right? So if they started noticing that their bookings for the peak season were slow, they might ask around like, hey, we're seeing a little bit of slow bookings. Are you guys experiencing this too? Right? And so it's not just your direct team, it's other people in your industry who are in your same space, having those relationships. Okay, let me flip the camera around. Come here, Callie. Come here. Come up here. Stop crying. It's okay. Come here. Oh, pobrecita. It's okay. You're okay. Whoops. You're okay. Stop crying. Okay. You really miss your mommy? Yeah. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. You want me to get off live? No. It's okay. Stop crying. Don't cry. Stop crying, okay? Okay, you gotta stop crying so I can finish. Okay? You're okay. You gonna watch the iPad now? Okay, here, let me turn it back on for you. One of the things is you don't let it charge all the way. It's only at 25%, so it's gonna die again. Give me my iPad so I can plug it in as your backup. Here, matter of fact, let me see if it'll go into that one. Yeah, there you go. And it's a longer cord. But you got to go over there a little bit because I'm on live and it might be too much noise. Okay? You're okay. Okay? All right. All right, where was I? Where was I? What was I talking about? So, yeah. So that is how you can find the trending content, right? So then what you have to do is, in this guide, I give you a framework to relate it to your brand, right? You have to be able to learn how the trends will authentically align with your brand, right? Like I give the example of and you still see, can you turn it down just a little bit? Thank you. So you still see people doing of course I'm a real estate agent. Of course I'm a single mom. Of course that's one right away that I can tell you that you can do, right? Of course I create digital downloads, right? I come up with ideas in the middle of the night and I have to get up and execute on it right away. Of course I'm a digital marketer. I see content in everything. Right. I went to lunch with a high school friend on Monday to breakfast and coffee. And I was like, I gotta record some video real quick. He said, I know, that's what you do. Right. So those little nuances, those little things that nobody but really your ideal client would know. Right. What are those little things about them that that's going to make them feel seen, known, and heard? Where can you apply that in the trend? Right? And usually when I'm scrolling and I see it, it sparks something right away. I pay attention to those first. It's a lot easier when you can see that spark. You can make that connection right away and then just create the content right away. Because your trending content, one thing I'm going to tell you when it comes to trending content, what you don't want to do is invest a lot in the production of it. Trending content needs to be low production value, right? Low production value. Not something you got to do a lot of editing to, just really straightforward, and the shorter, the better, okay? Because it typically doesn't have a long life cycle. And what do I mean by that? I have videos that are long form, live streams that I recorded live back in 2018 and 19. Do you know those videos still sell product for me today? Product that I hadn't even created or was associated with in 2018 and 2019. It's what I call my syndication strategy, right? So your longer form content, that's where you want to be more, you want your hair to be done. You want your makeup done, right? Your longer form content, you typically want to put more production value into it, right? And now your live streams, there's only so much production value you can put into it, but you can still create 18-20 minute long videos, and you can put more production value into those, having things pop up on the screen as social proof. And that now, it's a lot easier to do that with short form video now than it was several years ago, but with your shorter form content, I just don't suggest putting a lot of production value into it, because it's going to have a short span. It's not going to be around and generate leads for you for a really long time. That was a great question. What other questions can I answer for y'all while you have me here? Let me go through this PDF and see if there's anything else we want to talk about. Because the guide actually walks you through my TREND acronym, which stands for Track Emerging Trends. R is Relate to Your Brand. E is Engage with Content, and then that's broken down into 5 points. N is Navigate Feedback, which is broken down into 4 points. And then there's D for Drive Action. Okay. So that is how you select that trending content. How can you don't want to do trending content. I mean, it's okay to every now and then, but if that's all you do, I can promise you're going to be frustrated, you're going to be upset, and you're going to be left wondering why you're not getting any conversions, why it's not working for you. And that's why. Because you attracted a bunch of people, but none of them had a reason to come back, right? The other thing you want to do that no one else talks about, let me know in the comments with a 1 if you want to know. Because there's something else that you need to do to make all of this work. And it really has to do with what I titled this video. Okay. I already alluded to it a little bit. We already talked a little bit about it. Okay. You need to actually be capturing data. You need people's text number and or their first name and or just simply their email. Okay. That gives you a lot of the people with digital products. If you watch their lives and you listen to them, they actually made more sales in the beginning through their existing network or community. People who already knew them and that they had built up know, and trust with, right? And they sold to them. And then they were able to sell more to them via email, with email marketing. They were able to sell more products to them via email marketing. And if you follow me, which you should, click my face up here, I talk about this all the time. Email is an income producing activity. Okay. An email a day keeps poverty away. An email a day keeps poverty away. That's what actually made me go live, aside from my baby had fell asleep, is I was writing emails. Right? I segment my list. I don't send my entire list all the same email. I will send a few different emails a day to different segments of my list. Okay. So when I say an email a day keeps poverty away, I don't care if you're just emailing one person. I mean, hopefully you're emailing more than one, but I don't mean like go out and try and get a list of 100,000 people, because again, it's the same thing with trying to get 100,000 views on your short form video. Most of them are not going to be people that are ever going to do business with you. Okay. We have to be smart. We have to work smarter, not harder. We have to be strategic. Who is our ideal client? Who do we serve, and how do we serve them? And yes, even trending content needs to be created for them, right? I've talked on live before about how when I was actively promoting my beauty business, at least twice a week, I still created content for existing customers to introduce them to new product, to introduce them to new ways to use the product that they are already using, to remind them to use and how to use the product that they have. And that is how you increase customer retention. They need content too, right? So this content game is multifaceted. There's a lot of different things that go into content. So just telling you content is the answer is not a good enough answer. Are you crying again? No. Okay, you was laughing. Okay. So there's a lot that goes into it. Don't be overwhelmed by that. Just know that one piece of content. One of my best posts that I've done over the years talks about that. It's like y'all expect one piece of content to do everything, and it doesn't work like that. Let me see if I can find it. I'll read it to you. Let me see, because I document as much of my stuff as I can. So let's see if I can find it. Baby, what is you doing? No, that's not it. Let me find it. Oops. Here it is. Y'all are expecting one piece of content to do entirely too much. I'm going to pull it up on Facebook and flip the screen. Was that it? Well, here's one form of it. I will switch up the words every now and then. But here's one. Content that I have to zoom in on, put on bifocals to read, has a full ebook written on it, or uses invisible ink fonts is a surefire way to get scrolled past or tapped through. Your audience is doing the same thing. Believe that. Y'all are expecting one piece of content. So this is the original post, and then I just added a little preamble to it. Y'all are expecting one piece of content to do entirely too much. Create brand awareness, get engagement, build your audience, close them, upsell, upgrade, and re-engage. Baby, you was doing entirely too much. All right, that's a meme reference right there. Baby, the race is given to the swift, but not given to the swift, but to the one that endureth to the end. I don't mean you gotta go turtle slow, but you just need to slow down to speed up. Expecting one piece of content to do all of that reeks of desperation and comes across as spammy. Recognize the buyer's journey and honor it in your marketing. Directed by being intentional and purposeful, not cramming a PhD dissertation on a 10 by 80, 10 by 80 image. Curiosity creates conversation. Date your audience and stop wham, bam, thank you, mamming them. Okay? If you're picking up what I'm throwing down, let me know in the comments. And here's that meme. Oh no, baby, what is you doing? Right? And there's another version of it that I've done. Let's see. Let's scroll down. So that's one thing I will tell you. Store somewhere your best performing content so that you can repurpose it later. Okay? Keep track of your best performing content. I've used some of my best performing content in various ways over and over. Not only can you rewrite it, right? Like this is basically the same. I just changed the 2 lines. Okay? And then I used different images. I created a carousel. Okay? So I took the original post, turned it into a carousel. I've created it multiple ways. You can turn it into a carousel. You can turn it into a Twitter X or a Threads, a thread, right? You can turn it into a Reddit post. You can turn it into a carousel on Pinterest. You can turn it into a short form video. You can turn it into a series of short form videos. There's so many different ways you can repurpose your best content. And I get it. I know for some of us, creating is therapeutic, if not cathartic. But sometimes we need to go with what we know is working and build upon that, adjust and modify that. How can we make it better? How can we get it in front of more people? How can we use it to create more leads? Okay. If you're picking up what I'm throwing down, let me know in the comments, please. Okay. And that's actually on my marketing page right there. You can see my marketing page on Facebook. Okay. So you can repurpose your own existing content that did well, right? What of yours is trending? That's another thing we didn't put on the list. What of yours is trending? And like the creator rewards program on TT, for example, they don't reward you for posting the same video. And how can you use it? How can you use it? Come here. You crying again? Come here. Stop crying. You've got to stop crying. She can't. It's not like your mommy can just get on a plane and come back. She all the way in another country. Okay? She gonna be back. I'm gonna take you go see Grandma Barbara when I get done. Okay? And see if Ladybug is over there. Okay? All right. You got these people probably thinking she act like she don't even know her nana. It's okay. Stop crying. Okay? Stop crying. Okay? You're all right. It's okay. Stop crying, sweetie. She look like me, y'all. My little twin right here. She's really smart. She is so smart. Sometimes it's like talking to a little teenager. She's only 4, but she looks 6. She's just attached to her mama. Plus her mama, she was born in 2020 in May. So y'all know what was happening then. And her mama has always worked from home. And she just went to school last year. So, and she did good with school. Like, she's got the social skills in that. But she just used to her mama or brother or she's always with one of them. Or with me or her other grandma. But for short periods of time. And a lot of time it's us coming to them at their house. Okay? You want people being scared that you don't know me and you scared of me or something? No? Okay, well, stop crying. Act like you love you, Nana. Don't you like being with me? Yeah. You just miss your mommy, I know. She'll be back. We'll FaceTime her again in a little bit, okay? Okay. What's going to make you happy right now? Besides seeing your mommy or brother. What'll make you happy right now? We already went for a walk. You wanted to go for a walk and we got you a Sprite from Subway. What you want to do next? TT Tamira's supposed to come get you today too, and y'all gonna go somewhere. Okay? Stop crying though. It breaks my heart when you cry. It'll be okay. All right? We'll go see Uncle and Grandma in a little bit. Okay? All right, so what other questions can I answer for you guys while I'm here? But this is the power of digital marketing and digital products, okay? You have to understand that. In 2015, just 9 years ago last week, was the anniversary of the webinar where I launched my first digital course. My grandson was about 15 months old when that happened, okay? And I had been trying to build a business online and really struggling for the full year before he was born and up until that point. In 2014, I did start to break through. And I really broke through in 2015, okay? And part of the reason why was just a little bit of my backstory. I turned 18 one Tuesday, had a baby the next. My oldest daughter, her mom. I have 2 grandchildren and they're all from my oldest daughter. They're both from my oldest daughter, 10-year-old grandson who's with his dad right now, and Callie, who is 4. Okay. My daughter, her mom, was 2 months old when we went to the banquet for the scholarship when I went and got my undergrad. So I still graduated high school because, it was my senior year and I'd always been a good student. So I actually could have graduated that December, but that's okay, right? So I went down to half a day that last semester. My friend we were just talking about this last week on Monday when he came to town. And so I graduated, got my scholarship, and went to college, right? There were times in college when her dad was supposed to watch her and he just became unreliable, had got into doing things that I was not okay with, and I wouldn't even trust him with my baby. And so my grandma stepped in and she would watch my baby. Right. And then there were times like junior and senior year. She's now 3-4 years old. I would take my baby to class with me. I was that girl. I would take my daughter to class with me. My sister, who is 2 years younger than me, she went 2 years to a technical college and then 2 years to the same college that I went to. So we literally would trade off in the parking lot based on our schedules. I would come out of class. She would drive, have my daughter in the car with her. I would take the car and leave because my mom's house was only like 15 minutes away from the college. And she would go to class, and then my daughter and I would go back and pick her up. And then when I got my first real job out of college, my grandparents, and now, you know, a year after graduating, I had my second daughter. My grandparents helped raise my kids. Like, I would be lying if I said it any other way, right? Because I was working full time. It got to the point where I was traveling 12 months out of the year. Okay. And so for me to be able to do that, my grandparents and even my own parents, they would take care of the kids while I was traveling for work. My grandmother arranged it so that the kids' bus would pick them up from in front of her door. She would open her door and they would come in and they would have hot home cooked meals. So you have to understand my point of view when I have a grandson being born, and my grandmother was still alive at this point, but she told my daughter, she apologized, and we're like, why are you apologizing? You've done more than your share, right? She apologized that she wouldn't be able to, do for him like she had done, not only for my two, but my sister's two kids too, until they, started going to daycare when she got married. And the daycare and the company her husband worked at had a great daycare center. And so her boys would go there. Right. And so she apologized. And you have to understand the fire that it lit in me, because my kids never had to go to daycare. And you see so much that happens in daycares. I'm not saying daycares are bad, but I just didn't want my grandson going to daycare. So for a year, I would sit at work mad at the world that I had to be at a job and angrily trying to figure this business thing, this online marketing thing out, because I wanted to be with my grandbaby. I did not want him. And he wasn't going to daycare. His dad's dad was babysitting him during the day, but I also wanted to be there. And I'll never forget, there was a day, I don't know what happened, but my daughter called me crying and she wanted to know if I could babysit. And I was like about to walk into work and I was like, that job, I'll figure it out. And she was like, no, you go to work. And I vowed that day, and 6 months later, I was not working that job because I wanted to be with my grandson. And it wasn't like I quit in order to be with my grandson. I quit because it was just in the best interest of everybody involved. And it just so happened to be 2 weeks after I launched my first course and learned how to generate the income. Okay. So that is what freed me. And then it just so happened a few months later is when my daughter said, well, can you start keeping him on like Wednesday and Friday, or Wednesday through Friday? And I was like, I'd be happy to. I've been praying for this day. I've been living for this day. Right. And so I bring all that up to say, like, she's a single mom. She works from home. She's with them all the time. You see how that impacts this baby. It's good. It's almost too good. Right. But I was living further away, and 2 years ago I moved, to be closer to home so that I could support her and help be there with them and have that flexibility. And that is why I continue to build my digital products, my digital marketing business. That's why I still continue to consult and to coach, right? And I'll be honest with you, there are times when I look at maybe I should get a job, right? Because there are ups and downs to it, and sometimes you just get exhausted, right? And there are ups and downs to it. But every time I go to look for a job, God comes through and it all works out, so that I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing for me and my family. Now, I know there are women out there that won't even think about babysitting their grandkids, and that is fine. No judgment. But my family walked so that I could run. And that's how I looked at it when, I get emotional thinking about it, because I love these grandkids so much and I did a whole video on the grandmother effect, the theory about the impact that grandmothers have on families and the success and how far kids are able to go in life. And it's just important to me and my legacy that these kids know me and remember me, right? And the memories that we create when we're together. that I'm not just, somebody who was always mean and fussing when they saw her, because I carried all that baggage and that emotion from working in a system full of microaggressions that hates to see me succeed. Because that was literally what was happening to me in corporate America, right? And there's a lot of studies and data that talk about how bad that is for our health. My family thought I was crazy. I didn't even talk to certain members of my family for nearly 7 years because they were upset with me about what I chose to do with the education that I paid for. Yes, I got scholarships, but I still paid for my own education. Okay? But in the end, it was what was best for my family. And that's something I can sleep very comfortably, all snuggled up next to my punky pie, right? I don't live with my kids. I have my own place, right? But it just, I just came over here because sometimes it's just easier for them to keep them in their own space, and they, in that, and they love visiting me in that. Don't get me wrong, but they have more space because I'm a little single hen. I live by myself. I got a 1-bedroom, right? And so they have all their toys and everything here and all their snacks and all of that. So I come here to them. But that's why that's what digital marketing does for me. Like, she's literally right next to me. Even at my house, when they're around me, they are pretty attached to me. So I get why their mom sometimes needs a little space, because, she works from home and they're often in the room, just a few feet away from her while she's working, because the time, right? Tristan was 6 when everything shut down and he was doing schooling from home. He's such a loving, sweet, caring boy, right? He actually loved the shutdown. I remember him saying, because it gives him time with his family. He gets to be home with his family. He'd rather do that than go to school, right? Not just that he didn't want to go to school or didn't like school. He enjoyed being with his family, right? So that's what these babies are used to. And I'd rather they be too clingy than just be roaming around and doing and getting into anything, right? That's why my mission is to help 100 families make their next $1,000 or their first $1,000 online. Because I firmly believe if more women were able to be in positions like I'm in, I don't mean like doing all the work like ballerina farm girl or anything like that, but more balance and more support from a community and a tribe, that our children overall will continue to do better. And our children actually are doing better than we give them credit for. If you look, so many things are trending in the right direction. Teen pregnancies down, right? Even young black males going to jail is actually down from what I understand, right? So how can we better support that? How can we continue to build that community in a way that works for all involved, so no one feels used up, right? And I think, more people being able to work from home. My granddaughter is the first person in the family to grow up and not see her mom have to work outside the home. That's part of why she's this way. Because she literally, other than when she goes to school for a few hours, 4 days a week, her mom is at home all the time. Working, right? Working and living. She's like, I'm a working stay-at-home mom. It's a blessing and a curse, right? That's just how things are. So what other questions can I answer for y'all? Okay. I will tell you, DBA, I'm not saying DBA is the only thing you should ever do to be in the position that I'm in. I'd be lying to you if I said it's all that I do. But I think it's a great way to enter into this. And it's something I wish I would have had back then. And so much of what I've learned over the years is inside of DBA, right? If I were to package and walk you through all of my steps over the years, I would be charging you a lot more than $222. A lot more. So to be able to get it from me for $222 and it be what someone else created, but I still went through and verified that it's good stuff. right? Because I'm not going to just bring anything to my audience in my community. Okay? I'm going to make sure it's good stuff and it's legit. It is very on point. Very on point. And when I say that, I mean it's very much what I've done over the years. Okay? So what other questions do you have around trend hacking, around email marketing? The title of this was Mailbox Money, right? When we talk about making money in your sleep, the majority of that money that you make in your sleep is going to happen because of email marketing and systems and automation. You will not make money in your sleep without having some sort of automation in place. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay. Now, if you want to learn more about DBA, I would go click my face up here and go to the link in my bio, and you can get started with DBA for $222 while I'm on here live instead of $333. Because if you buy volume 1 and then you buy volume 2, it's a total of $333. You can get both volume 1 and 2 when you go to volume 2. Go to the link in my bio right up here, and you can get volume 2 for only $222 while I'm live. That's basically a 33% discount. Okay. And DBA does not even need a discount. It's that good. It really doesn't even need a discount. But I know how people can, I hate to say the word lollygag, but you can second guess yourself. So I want to make it an offer that you cannot refuse. And so you can join DBA for only $222 while I'm on here live. And I won't actually be on here live too much longer, so I can take this baby to go see her great grandma and her cousin that she likes to play with. Keep her spirit up. And then my youngest daughter is going to take her somewhere too with some friends of hers and her kids. But that's what it is. She's just used to I'd rather she be too attached to her mom than just go to anybody to get away from her mom. You know what I mean? Because there are kids like that. They're so used to being with people that they just go to anybody, go with anybody. And I grew up kind of sheltered, and so did my kids. And these babies, in a way, they're not, because they've explored and seen so much more of the world than I had at their age. But they, they're just used to being with their core family because of the way things were when she was born. She hadn't really been around other kids for a long time outside of our immediate family, like cousins and that, like my nieces and nephews and great nieces and nephews. And the great thing is, they're not socially awkward at all. It's just when she's at home, she used to her mama being here. She's been away from her mama before, but it's just, long periods of time she really misses her mama and be wanting her to come around. But we got to get her used to it. Tristan is eventually going to become a teenager and be out with his friends, and then he's going to go to college or move out and move in with his girlfriend or wife or whatever. And, it's just part of growing up. Separation anxiety is normal. And so I told her, just make sure you FaceTime her so she can see your face and hear your voice. It did make her feel better this morning when we FaceTimed with her. So it'll be okay. What other questions though can I answer for y'all before I go? You can grab DBA Volume 2 for $222 while I'm live. Just click up here. The trending content is great, but you cannot post trending content all day, every day. In fact, it becomes challenging to continue to find trending content if that's all you ever post, right? Yes, it is. Refresh my memory, Tyra. What is? But yeah, the trending content is good. It can be really good for you. And then there are times when you post it and it just doesn't do anything. It flops. And so you just have to give yourself grace and keep going, keep figuring it out. And it just doesn't do anything. It flops. And so you just have to give yourself grace and keep going, keep figuring it out. Is my connection back? Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. So I'm not gonna be on here much longer. Oh, come there, Punky Pie. Yeah, right. My little girl. I was so excited to have a granddaughter, but I was excited to have a grandson too, because my mom is the oldest daughter. I'm the oldest daughter, granddaughter, and oldest niece. So y'all already know. My daughter is the oldest daughter, oldest grandchild, oldest great grandchild, firstborn niece. My grandson is the first boy in my line because I had girls. So he's the oldest child, oldest firstborn grandchild, firstborn great grandchild, and my grandma was alive, so he was the firstborn oldest child, firstborn grandchild, firstborn great grandchild, and my grandma was alive, so he was the firstborn. Give me a few minutes. So I gotta get ready to go. Oh, she ain't want nothing. We good. But that's the thing. Even my kids, right? Because my youngest daughter, she, her and I have had to really work on our relationship in the last few years. I mean, both of us have but I have with both children in various ways for different reasons, but we've really had to work on our relationship because come to find out, she felt like there were like middle school and that my job was more important than her. And I had to explain to her, you got to be careful what you say, especially as a single mom. Like, well, some of that's your daddy fault, right? Just let's just be straight up, right? Because had he done more, had he done anything, I wouldn't have felt that pressure, like everything was riding on me. So I made decisions out of fear, out of panic, because I had you and your sister to take care of, and it was all on me. Because if I didn't, yes, my family helped with their time, but my family never had to buy a single diaper for my kids. They never had to buy formula. I always, and remember, I turned 18 one Tuesday, had a baby the next. Everything my baby need, I bought and paid for myself because I worked in high school a lot and I was a good saver. So I provide anything my family has ever done for my kids as far as clothes, finances, anything. They will tell you it was because they wanted to, not because they had to. It was never a question of if my kids were going to have winter coats. It was never a question of, not only would they start winter with a coat, they might have multiple coats, right? And they would have I would buy multiple sets of mittens and gloves and hats and scarves because I know kids would lose them, right? Kids lose them. That's just part of what happens, right? They never wore too little clothes, too little shoes. And, my kids were very well provided for. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful. I always give my family credit for helping me in the ways that they could and supporting me in the ways that they could for me to get the education and work the jobs to be able to provide for them. And the downside to that, unfortunately, is my youngest felt like my job was more important than her. And I had to explain to her, no, it's because you were so important to me that I worked jobs that were killing me, because you were so important to me and taking care of you and you not being on welfare, you not becoming a statistic, that I worked as hard and put up with things that I didn't have to put up with. And she gets that now, right? My oldest daughter, she'll often say some of it is she's just immature, but she doesn't have kids. She said, because honestly, I didn't really get a lot of it, what you went through and what you were saying, just like me with my own mom, until I had my own kids. My mom and our relationship still always needs work. It just does. But I got a much better understanding and respect for her once I had my oldest daughter. Right? And she always, when it came to my kids, she always would do whatever for my kids. And like I said, I always financially provided for my kids. They always had health care. They always, my friend still talks about it to this day. She said to me, I've never seen anybody go and just pay full out for braces. She's like, you did that. My friends remind me all the time. My brother, they don't play about me. Like, no, nobody is perfect, but you were good. You were a good mom. You did all of that. I'm about to cry thinking about it. Just hearing other people say it, you know what I mean? That other people see it. Because sometimes we're so into it, we forget. And so that's why I always remind their mom, and I tell her, no, you're a good mom. Sometimes I worry and I get scared, but you always pull it. I told her, I said, sometimes I know as moms, we're kind of super moms. I said, but sometimes I really don't know how you do it all. I really don't know, but you do it. Right. So, and that's why I go so hard in the paint with digital marketing and digital products and helping families make that first $1,000, that next $1,000 online, because it can make a critical difference. $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year, right? Now I get it. Everybody actually still poor till about $500,000, $1,000,000 a year. To be honest with you, just on a different level. As one of my wealthy friends would always say, I'm broke, just on a different level, right? It was what he would say about himself. But how I just, I could be still that type A workaholic, driven, building somebody else's empire and hardly ever see my babies. And I wouldn't like that. I would not be happy. I would not. And I've also done the situation, because the last real job I had, I was underemployed. It's not even anything I would put on my resume and put on LinkedIn. In fact, that was one of the arguments. No one would even know that you work here. Why they got to know? It ain't their business. Right? Wanting it on my social media. I don't owe that. That ain't part of the job description. I would never work anywhere that said I got to use my social media to promote their business. Are you serious? Like I say, you are the brand, you are the content, you are the algorithm. So no, I might mention it every now and then and in my own way, but just out here like straight up advertising your business to my global audience for free? No, that ain't happening. That is not, I promise you that ain't happening. Right? So, you just want to be on camera. Look at you. Look at you. You just want to be on camera. People can see you. Right there, those are people. They can see you. My little girl. She the only one. We all have T names. She has a C name. So, what other questions do y'all have? Otherwise, I'm going to get ready to go. My youngest child, that's the thing. I get to be there. There was one morning she just showed up at my door. Like I'm still in bed sleeping. It's like 7:00 and I hear Ma. And she's coming in. Drop me off. I got to go to jury duty. Like you couldn't have called and planned ahead of time. But I went and took her to jury duty. She didn't want to have to pay for parking. So I dropped her off and parked her car in front of my house. Right. There's times she had to go to the dentist. So, I could go and be there while she goes and gets put under or whatever and drive her back home. Right. These are things that I can do now because I've created the space and the freedom to be able to be there. Right. If somebody's having a bad day. Yesterday I was writing emails literally like this. Literally like this. But her brother, when he was younger, this is how I built a multiple 6-figure beauty business with him attached to me like this. Or I might be doing get ready with me videos and you can hear him in the background playing with his cars or writing on the whiteboard, right? So it's not just moms that are working at home with their kids at home. Sometimes it's us nanas too. Right? Because that's when Tarina worked outside of the home And so he would come to my house, and yeah, he would even ask, can we go down to your office? Because he had toys down there, right? There are videos where he comes on screen, just like she is doing. I'm getting ready, and he comes over, and sometimes he gets on the screen, and everybody goes crazy. I mean, those videos are still out there. I still post those videos. Then we did a video where I let him draw on my face with Sharpie. And then we used the skincare to get the Sharpie off very easily. And it was perfect. Like, I didn't prep him. He goes, wait a minute. Now, how are you going to get this off of your face? And he's like, let me get out of here. I don't want anything else to do with this, because now you got Sharpie on your face and you got to get Sharpie off of your face. She was a newborn, so he was like 6 years old. So, you know, but I love the fact that they have, neither of them know or remember me working a regular job. That creates a different set of possibilities for them. That creates a different reality for them. Because remember, where a lot of my drive came from was because I didn't want my grandkids becoming a part of becoming institutionalized. Now, I'm not saying, and I'm not judging you if your kids or grandkids go to daycare. But for me and mine, I just looked at that, like everybody talks about the school to prison pipeline. To me, daycare is a much more hardcore pipeline to me. And I did not want them going to daycare. I'll never forget Caucasian friends of mine, and she wound up being a stay-at-home mom, and they went to visit a daycare after they had their first baby. And her husband's takeaway after visiting a daycare was there was like a 4-year-old in like a baby swing or a high chair. I forget how she said it, but the way he said it sounded just like a man. And I was like, that's quite interesting. And that's when they decided they weren't doing daycare. Right? And there are great daycares out there. There are great daycare teachers out there. But we did go to preschool. But for the most part, we really learned everything at home from our mom growing up. And that's just what I believe in. My kids didn't learn the basics at school. They learned the basics at home. She's learned the basics at home, right? She can recognize all of her letters. She basically can read and write. And she's 4. And it didn't come from her going to school this year. It all started at home. She's very, very smart and ahead of the curve. So that's just my own personal belief. So DBA, I would definitely recommend joining DBA and getting the essentials for building a digital products business, right? How to set up your store. There's 3 options for setting up your stores. How to launch is in there. There's a digital marketing module. The Build a Bomb brand module alone is valued at least $1,000. I know I could sell it for $2,000 or more. I have the market in the community that would pay that for it, right? Because in my market and community are people who've paid $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 for courses like Marie Forleo's B School, right? I've paid $2,000, $2,400 for various courses, not all together, but an individual course I paid $2,400. Individual courses I paid $1,200 for. Okay, so DBA at only $222 for both volumes 1 and 2 while I'm live instead of $333. At $333, it's still a huge deal. But at $222, it's even more, right? And DBA volume 1 walks you through the basics. Like I said, how to launch, how to set up your store. There's email marketing in there. There's digital marketing in there. There's budgeting, how to form your business. Then it moves into like niche specific, like beauty, how to build a beauty business. Okay. There's how to set up an Airbnb. There's affiliate marketing. And then volume 2 takes you into more advanced money-making platforms like LinkedIn and Pinterest. Those, like, if you knew that the average income on Pinterest was 6 figures with a bachelor's or master's degree, and like 90 some, like now it's about almost 80% now women. If you knew and understood what that means for your business and its potential, you would be running to Pinterest right now. If you knew the corporate money that was available because of networking on LinkedIn, Well, you would with DBA Volume 2. And not only is there LinkedIn, there's an advanced LinkedIn, right? And this is why I'm telling you that networking and building relationships is key. It's not just posting content. You need to be having conversations. The money really is in the message. Money is in Messenger. It goes down in the DM. What? It goes down in the DM. I've been saying that for over 7 years. As long as that song's been out. It truly goes down in the DM. It truly goes down in the DM. If I'm not making sales, if I'm not getting what I want, when I get in that DM, make it rain, make it rain, make it rain. Sometimes you just have to have one-on-one conversations. And your emails, you need to write them so that it sounds like a one-on-one conversation. It should feel like a one-on-one private conversation. That's why I'm not a fan of newsletters. Some of y'all ain't got no business writing newsletters. You need to be writing quote-unquote love letters instead. Ooh, I'm doing a training next month. I think that's what I'm going to talk about. Stop writing newsletters and start writing love letters. Make your audience, make your email list fall in know, like, and trust with you. Okay? Yes, baby. No, okay. See, she's good. She all snuggled up against me now. She happy and she watching her iPad. Okay? Whew. What time is it? Where are we at? Right at the 90-minute mark. You want your lives on here to be 90 minutes or longer, because at 90 minutes they really start to push your live out. They really start to push it out, okay? But DBA, and that's not even all for Volume 2. It's not just LinkedIn. It's not just Pinterest. When they launched it and I saw that there was Turo in there, I was like, yes. So how to not only launch, but get funding to develop a fleet for a Turo businesses in there. How to launch a virtual assistant business. How to become a travel agent, right? There's master manifesting in there. There's stocks for beginners in there, right? I always like to describe Volume 1 as, if you don't understand that now, there is no greater time in history than right now to be able to literally, from the book of Exodus, make bricks without straw. You can look that up. Bricks without straw. Florence Scovel Shinn in, is it The Game of Life and How to Play It, or The Secret Door to Success? I can't remember which of those books. In one of the earlier chapters, she talks about making bricks without straw. And if you know anything about making bricks back then, you needed straw to make them. And it comes from this passage in Exodus where the Pharaoh says, tell them to make bricks, but we ain't giving them no straw. Right? I don't want to get secular with it, but a very specific phrase comes to mind. Okay? So we're not going to give you the tools or resources that you need, but we still expect you to do what we want and give us what we want in our outcome, right? So basically trying to set you up for failure. By the way, raise your hand if you've ever experienced that in corporate America. You're short-staffed, but we still expect you to meet these goals. And we know you're short-staffed. And they gaslight you. You still got to make these goals. And you should still feel good about it. And, it's all belief and blah, 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 blah. Right? Making bricks without straw. Basically, how to make something from nothing. That's what Volume 1 is about, right? In 2024, you might as well say 2025 now. Whenever else in history have you been able to wake up, say, hey, I'm going to create a digital product, something that you can't even hold in your hand, using free apps like social media, Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, just to name a few, social media apps, free AI like ChatGPT, and turn it into hundreds, if not thousands of dollars by the end of the day. When else in history have you been able to do that? Aside from selling the Brooklyn Bridge. And then you could go to jail for that. You have to understand the potential of what we have in front of us right now. You have to understand that this ability is not going to be around forever. It's not. Just like these social media platforms used to let you get in front of the right people who would buy like that, and they stopped it. The ability to do everything that we're doing right now and get around some of these fees and not have to pay for things. Free apps like Canva, free apps like the social media platforms. They're working on ways to make us pay for this. Believe me. In 10, 15, 20 years, they're going to be paid for like a utility. Like, think about it. Why should we be paying for the internet? I just got my cell phone bill. Like, why is my bill all of a sudden so high? All of a sudden, the little router I get through Verizon that they started, it was like $20. Now all of a sudden they're charging $55. I got to call them and find out. No. Find somebody else to do it. Spectrum is in my inbox. I mean, every day. My physical mailbox. Every day with some sort of offer. So you better come up with something else or I'm going to Spectrum. Because I'm not paying $55 for that. Right? And now I got to go back and look at my bill because it has been inching up and I couldn't figure out why, but I haven't really been paying attention. And it's probably because I've been paying $55 for my internet for months and it feels slower. So not only are you charging me more, it's like y'all done slowed it down. Y'all got the wrong one, baby. I forgot what I was even talking about. Oh, the fact that this stuff isn't going to be around and for free forever. So we got to make the most of it while we can. And that's why I love volume 2, because volume 2, volume 1 teaches you how to make as much money as you want, as much or as little as you want. And there are people making more money than they know what to do with. So volume 2 comes in and helps you with what to do with the money. So that now we're moving into the parable of the talents, where you now can have the money multiplying and working for you. Okay, so you can look up the parable of the talents. That's from the book of Matthew, right? And I'm not a biblical scholar. I'm not trying to, mix things up that shouldn't be. But I do know a little something. And I am very spiritual. I definitely believe. Okay, and so the parable of the talents and, taking from those who did nothing with it, like the one who just buried it, and giving it to the one who actually multiplied it, right? And so that's what you want to be. You want to be the one that multiplies. Okay? You want to be the one that multiplies. And that's what volume 2 does, is it teaches you how to make your money work for you, right? Because we say in volume 1, like volume 1 is about passive income, but it's not passive for a while, y'all. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Even if it's just going live every day, that's still active. You have to actively. This is not something that you can set up to just be passive from the get-go. It's passive in that you don't have to be at your store working 24/7 like a lot of brick and mortar store owners have to do. It's not that you have to be tied to it all day, every day. Through the power of systems and automation, the system can be working for you 24/7, 365, as long as the internet is up and working, right? So that is passive in that respect. But there's still things that you have to do. You still have to show up. You still have to find a way to connect with people digitally. And one of the biggest mistakes I see y'all making is starting with a faceless account. Most of the people complaining about not making sales, it's a faceless account. And there are 2 types of faceless accounts. We've talked about this. There are theme pages, and then there are faceless accounts that are based on aesthetic. Aesthetic accounts are not for us. I'm going to say it again. Aesthetic accounts are not for us. Theme pages, when I say theme page, I want you to think like Baller Alert. I want you to think like quotes. I want you to think like infographics. I want you to think like the Shade Room. That's the type of faceless content that is for us. But just being, aesthetic. Mm-mm. And even a lot of them aesthetic pages, they was lying about what they was making. Their money was coming from their email list. Some of them bought, or they had existing pages with large followings, and they deleted all the content, changed the name, and y'all think it's a brand new account. And it's not. It's not. Some of them got press, right? Some of them mind about working for Facebook, and they don't. I'm not saying all of them that say that are, but some of them are lying about it. And they're just stealing content from other places, right? So faceless can mean a lot of different things. I'm specifically speaking of those who are just creating aesthetic accounts. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And then you got to be able to pump out 5-7 pieces of content a day. And that is actually more challenging from a faceless account than it is from one where you can just, turn the camera on and start talking. Because it's higher production content. And higher production content, I don't like a higher production content for short form video. I prefer to store up my energy for longer form content with a higher ROI. I'm just saying, right? To get back to what we were originally talking about, like with trends and that, you want to make sure you're using a call to action to drive people to get onto your email list. So what do I mean? Providing value in those solution selling focused videos, so to either go to a link to be able to buy or to sign up for something for free, right? Like, think about this video. I showed you my trend hacking guide. And remember, we didn't go through the full thing because I want you to sign up for it. Go to the link in my bio. Actually, you have to DM me because it's not on there. Okay? But contact me and I will gladly give that to you. I just want your email address. Okay? It's not that difficult. Right? And I don't just sell you on my email list. I provide a lot of value to my email list. For one, this video most likely is going to end up on YouTube. That's something that I email out. So if one of the things that's frustrating to me is there's a lot of great content that's beginning to come out on TikTok on live streams, but they're not uploading it to YouTube. It's kind of, I won't say invasive, but it's kind of disruptive, right? Like, if I'm building my business, I can't be sitting on your live stream for 5-6 hours a day. I can't. I ain't making no money if I'm just sitting on your content for that long. But if you put it on YouTube, I can scrub through it. I can use AI and get to the juicy parts. I can figure it out. I can get there. Or I can have it on at night while I'm doing other things. But, when you're going live and it's peak time, it's also peak time for me. I need to be live too. So I got to choose. Sometimes it's worth it to sit on those lives, but not for the full time. I just can't do it. So that's why I put mine up onto YouTube. And then I also will turn it into shorter form pieces of content. Same with when I record podcasts. I don't know if you know that, but I'm a frequent guest on podcasts and on online and virtual summits. I record all of those. I get access to that so that I can turn it into short form content. And then on that short form content, for example, if you go to my profile right now, click my face and go to my profile, on each of those pinned videos, what you doing? Each of those pinned videos, there's a call to action for you to either go to a blog post or to go to a freebie that I am giving away. And I collect leads that way. Because remember, only 2%, less than 2%. And that is large law of number. That is big companies. It's even less than that for a regular, everyday, smegular, small content creator. It's even less than that. It's like a fraction of 1%. of first-time visitors are going to buy from your website. That's why you need to offer them something free in exchange for their data, so that you can not only pitch to them, but even get your content back in front of them, because you can't rely on the algorithm to, as we were discussing earlier in this video. See how it all just keeps coming back full circle? It just keeps coming back full circle. And that is why content is not always the answer. It's not just enough. It's not sufficient, is what I'm saying. You need email marketing to get more people in front of your content, and in a way that you can much more control, right? A lot of these people who you think are growing their accounts really fast, again, they have large email lists. So they can send that piece of content out to their email list. And then even if only 5% click through, it can be enough to trick the algorithm into showing that content into more people. And then they can grow even more following, and then get more leads, and then you see how it works? You see how it keeps coming full circle? This is strategy, y'all. You need strategy. I am a strategist. I've had to check people more than once. And there's nothing wrong with being a virtual assistant. I just ain't one. That's not what I do. We are talking real strategy here. I am a strategist. There are people who are excellent rule makers and love to slap people on the hand for making rules and enforcing the rules. They have their place in business and society. I'm just not that person. I am much better utilized as a strategist. I am not people don't realize that marketing encompasses a lot of different functions, right? That, I have friends that are much more marketing operations than they are actually really marketers. And you got to know the difference. What's up, girlfriend? What's up? I'm happy you're smiling again. I'm happy you're happy again. Get out of that funk. Silly girl. Let them see your smile. You got such a pretty smile. Sit up. They can't see you. Let them see that pretty smile. Pretty girl. My punky pie. Keep your tongue in your mouth. That's not ladylike. My girl. Yeah, we got to call TT Tamira back. Okay. So yeah, it all comes full circle. You have to get their contact information. And it's not just about being able to pitch them, but even get them back in front of your content and help them grow your audience that way. Okay. So what other questions do you guys have before I go? Don't forget, you can join DBA. I recommend Volume 2. While I'm live, it's only $222 instead of $333. Look it. She loves to hold my hand. Sometimes I have to be like, I need my other hand so that I can type this email. Because an email a day keeps what? Say it in the comments, y'all. An email a day what? Keeps poverty away. Okay? An email a day keeps poverty away. I actually did a bomb email marketing training like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. It's in the vault. I did an incredible email marketing training for free, and I did it right here on live. That's why I'm telling you, if you're not following me, are you really even trying to build a digital products business? You better click up there and hit that follow sign. Okay. But we're going to get ready to go. So if you want that trend hacking guide from me, make sure you message me. In fact, just message me at the number in my bio. If you click the link in my bio, the first button is info. But don't just text me info. Text me trend hacking or trend guide, and then I will send the link over to you to sign up for it. Okay? Because I got to remember what it is. I can look it up on my website, and I can send it to you via text message. So just do that. If you go to the link in my bio, my number is there for you to text. Or if you click that first button, it will actually open up a text message. Just don't send info, because then I got to reply back. Are you looking for this? Are you looking for that? And there's 18 million things you could be looking for. So be specific and tell me what you're looking for, right? Tell me that you were on live today and you want the trend hacking guide. You know, you want to know more about, selecting trending and viral content. Okay. And remember, just because it was trending or viral for someone else doesn't mean yours is going to blow up and hit millions or even, hundreds of thousands of views like theirs did. But if you normally only get 20 views and you now get a video that's done 2,000 views, you won. Okay. If you normally get 20 and you got 200 or 400, you won. And you just keep going. You just keep getting better. Some of y'all be so close and you quit way too often and way too soon. If you stop quitting and starting over, you would be so much further ahead. And that's for me too. Okay, that's for me too. But we're going to get ready to go so little mama can get out the house and go see her cousin. She want to be on live now. She want to be on video. Look at her. She woke up. She woke now. She back to being her little precocious self. She watched her iPad. Don't be embarrassed. She watched her iPad. She called herself cleaning her iPad. Where did you wash it? In the bathroom sink? She embarrassed now. Don't get mad at me. She watched her iPad. Boop.
I'm gonna beat you up.
You're not gonna beat me up. I will beat you up. I'll beat you up. All right. Well, I'm gonna go. Before I do, can you just let me know? Give me some feedback in the comments. Did you find any value in this? What was like your biggest takeaway? Let me know what your biggest takeaway is. And while people are doing that, if you want to join DBA Volume 2 for $222, now is your last call to do it. Go to the link in my bio, and I think DBA is the third button. Hey, baby. Okay. So let me know in the comments. Give me that feedback. If this was, of any value to you and what you were able to walk away with, what you learned. Is that what we doing today? Nobody got any value? Almost 2 hours later, you got no value from this? You find that funny, Callie? That's funny to you? And there you go. You can hear them little feet running on the hardwood floors. I know I gave some value away today. That's all right. Y'all can be stingy with it. But remember, what you give away, you always get to keep. You getting your clothes on so we can get ready to go? Okay. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here.
Don't look at me. I'm going to be naked.
Girl, don't say that. Okay. Let me go. Well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.